Looks like we are live. All right. What is up, everybody? This is Isaac of the Dead, back here with another Deadcast. I think we could call it Deadcast. I mean, it's first one was Deadcast, and this one, I guess it's number 3. First time I did it was with the Ahsoka review, and then this one is this 3 or 4. Can't remember, but one of them was with CM Punk. Today, just got back from the Marvels. Uh, Drove back from a couple miles away. There's a movie theater further down. Um, so I just got back from the Marvels. This is like a live out of theater review. A little bit of spoiler discussion. So there are spoilers for the Marvels. If you are somehow interested in seeing this movie, there will be spoilers. So yeah, this is me venting. Now, this isn't really much of a review as much as it is me venting about seeing this massive abortion of a movie. So let's check out the chat. What's up, Reed? How's it going, brother? So yeah, I'll be checking in on the chat every once in a while as I spoil the shit out of this movie. This may have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I've seen some shitty movies. This is definitely the worst MCU movie I've ever seen. And I've seen Multiverse of Madness, which is having a hard contender for worst movie of the MCU compared to this one. Let's see if I can get that glare out. See if we can. There we go. There we go. Oh, no, glare's back. Glare's back. Can we do this? No? Can I move this over here? The glare gone. Gonna see you suddenly. All right, thanks, Reed. Thank you. That glare is just not going away. That's stupid. Let me see. Let's send it over here. Let's send it right here. You can at least see me. It looks like I got a holy light on me. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That looks cool. That looks cool. It's still a stupid glare, but at least maybe you could look good. So right out of the theater, right out after seeing the Marvels, there is so much to say. I said a lot of it on the way back. I had some time to vent. I have not seen anything since. This is a movie that you see once, and then you're gonna have to see something else to wash that nastiness out of your brain. So yeah. So I don't know really where to begin with this piece of shit. It's I think it's the worst MCU movie, but in terms of the worst MCU project, there's some hard bargains to say that She-Hulk is worse. I think She-Hulk is easily the worst thing the MCU has ever made. At least this movie has likable things about it. For example, Kamala Khan, a character I don't care about, was easily more likable in this movie than she is anywhere else. In her own spinoff show, in the comics, in any of the video games, she's weird and insufferable. In this movie, she was okay. She was okay. She was the best part of the movie, best character in the movie, absolutely. I will not be shy to say that the actress Iman Vellani is, she has a lot of charisma and she's easily the best character in the movie. Unfortunately, that doesn't save this movie. That doesn't mean that it's in any way, shape, or form any good. Now, granted, it's not as bad as some other things. I've had a debate with my brother about which one's worse, this or Multiverse of Madness. And I think that Multiverse of Madness has the worst MCU moment when Wanda kills Mr. Fantastic and Professor X. I think that is easily the worst moment in the MCU, but that didn't mean that the movie was without merit. All things considered, that's still a shit movie. One of the worst. I never watched The Eternals. I never bothered my ass to watch the Eternals. Here's a deal for my subscribers out there who might be watching this or not. If I get to 500K subscribers, I will make you all a deal. I won't just watch the Eternals. I will live stream it. I'll do a live reaction to the Eternals. If I get 500K on my subscribers, I will react to the Eternals live. And you guys can sit there and watch me react to the Eternals. That's my deal. That is the only time I will ever watch this movie. I'll never watch the Eternals otherwise. But I heard that's easily the worst MCU movie. This has a good contendership for that. And this movie is cut down to an hour and a half. And I believe that's from a 2 hour and 15-minute standpoint. There's a longer version of this movie. There's a longer version of the Marvels out there. I don't, for the life of me, understand why somebody allowed that to go through multiple people in production and think that's what Marvel fans want. That's what people want to see. Kevin Feige, of all people, finally understands that nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Say 500K to watch the Phase 4 movies because it's all dumpster fire. Thank you, Caboose 1009. Shit, man. I'll rewatch all of them on a live stream. If I get to a point where I can do like a 24-hour live stream, if I get to do like a very long live stream, like an EFAP or something, I'll watch every single MCU Phase 4 movie in order, maybe excluding No Way Home, so I could really suffer. But yeah, I'll do that for 500K. I'm your whore. I'll do that. I'm your e-girl. You get me to 500K, I'll sit through all of them. You bet. It's going to be painful for sure, but I'll do it. Hello. Hi, Kobe Va. Hello. So if you have to watch those movies all in one sitting, that'd be real torture. No shit. No shit, Reed. No shit. So yeah. So I got to think about what I have to say about this movie because I just got out of the theater watching it. I know I'm a couple days late. A lot of other people have already made the reviews and they're like, why are you covering this? You know, it's 2 days old. It's basically like drinking sour milk. And it's like, well, even if I watched this on a Thursday night preview, it would be like drinking sour milk. So I think this is worth talking about. I sat through the hour and a half, movie, if you can call it that. My brother was apathetic most of the time. He found pleasure in seeing me cringe the whole fucking time. So I was there with a bunch of friends, a couple of my friends from my gym, and shout out to my Bushy Bond family. I heard some of them liked it. I will not shame anybody for liking it or not liking it. I think that everybody has their opinion and they're open to have that opinion. That's up for them. You know, that's all their thing. I will not be what people call a toxic fan. That's, a fucking myth, by the way. I have my own personal reasons for not liking or liking something. And I'm sure they have the same reasons. I'm sure they have the same, reasons for that. And so I don't shame my friends or anybody for liking something or not liking something. But hey, everybody likes to take things like that out of context. And so I appreciate anybody who can stick by me through things like this. So I saw it with a bunch of friends. Not everybody liked it, but everybody had a fine time. So you could have watched it in hour one and it'd be like drinking a month-old sour milk. Yeah. That's accurate, Caboose. That is accurate. So I'm going to break down this movie the best that I can, and then I'm going to explain my gripes. And this is going to take however long it's going to take, I guess, until my computer battery dies because I don't have it plugged in. I'm going off the webcam here. So the movie begins, I guess, covering Miss Marvel because I didn't watch Miss Marvel. I had no reason to watch Miss Marvel. I was just like, it's not made for me. They told me basically to my face, it's not made for me. And so I was like, all right, I won't watch it. I don't really give a shit. I won't watch it. So they kind of rehash some of the things from Miss Marvel that were important, like Kamala Khan, her family, her powers. They do this weird montage about her like having a sketch drawing. It's very much a teenage girl perspective. And it's kind of fun, but it's also like, why do that? Why do we waste time on that? It was just kind of this movie's an hour and a half, and it's already way too long. Even in the first 10 minutes, I found the first 10 minutes to be cringe already. But at the same time, it wasn't the worst thing that I'd ever seen. I'm going to get to the worst thing I saw in this movie. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll get to that. So we're breaking down this after we see the rehash of, Kamala Khan, her background, and then leading to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, switching places with her, and then getting swept right back into her place because the bands. I'm going to say this slowly. Nega bands. Nega bands. Nega bands. If you say that too fast, it's going to be really problematic. Trust me. That would be really problematic if you said that too fast, especially if you're someone like me. People can take it out of context. But they changed the nega bands to quantum bands. They changed the name. I wonder why that is. I wonder why they did that. Probably because of the name. Probably because they knew that nega bands was going to be problematic. And so the power of the nega bands helped give their energy of light to like I said, this movie is so fucking crap that it's so hard to explain what really happens in it because it's confusing. They don't tell you everything. They take a lot of things and make it, it's like they put things out of context intentionally to confuse the audience. Or this movie was butchered in the editing room floor. It was butchered. So the nega bands are powered by light, by like sunlight. That's what Monica Rambeau's powers are powered by. That's what Captain Marvel's power is powered by. The nega bands have the same power. And so Kamala Khan only has one of the nega bands in her house that apparently her grandma had given her. Dar-Ben, the main antagonist, who is a Kree, by the way, finds the other nega band on some moon, just randomly finds it, and is like, I need to go for the next one. I need to go find the other one. And so I don't even remember. I just got out of the movie theater. I just left the movie theater maybe an hour ago. And I can't even remember how we got from point A to point B. How did we get from Dar-Ben finding the nega bands to, I guess it was just, they went through a whole sequence, an opening action sequence where Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel were all, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau were all switching places because of the power of the nega bands. Because they all had the same light power. They were all switching places. Like a Freaky Friday mixed with, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a cool concept in theory that they could have made really fun. Like, whenever a character activates their powers, they can switch places with somebody. That would work really good with like Fantastic Four, because they could be in a situation where they're in trouble and then they switch places with somebody and then that person's in trouble while the other person's like, oh crap, I just got that other person in trouble. It's a concept that could work and it could be really fun, but it was written to where like the only time they ever switched places was inconvenience for the writing. They used their powers multiple times throughout the movie without switching places, even though their powers intentionally activate their transportation. So that's a little gimmick that they use throughout the movie so they can all switch places, powered by the nega bands. So let's check the chat real quick. It literally all just blends together because there is no cohesion in the plot to begin with. Yeah, there's none. It's pretty much accurate. Can't believe I'm saying it like the lightsabers in The Last Jedi. Which what do you mean, Caboose? Can't believe sub Octowave. Can't believe I'm saying it like the lightsabers in the Last Jedi. It's like the lightsabers in the Last Jedi. Uh, is it like what do you mean by like the powers or the? Because I understand. I think I understand what you're saying, but I don't really. I have to understand the. Uh, Kylo and Rey move the lightsabers through the Force. Oh yeah. It's yeah. I could see why you'd say that. I absolutely see why you could say that. What is up? Jared Clark never understood the plot, anyways. Well, there was no plot. I'm trying to break this movie down the best that I can, and there really isn't much to talk about other than what I can remember. What I can remember getting out of the movie. The Last Jedi was a dumpster fire. Yeah, it absolutely destroyed Star Wars. That's for another time, though. I gotta get to that another time. I'm not even 10 minutes into describing this movie, and it's already fucked up. It is already fucked up. Because tomorrow you will repress the movie. Tonight I will repress the movie. Tonight I will go home and watch something like Fellowship of the Ring, or I'll turn on an old favorite, Sons of Anarchy. I'll watch bikers beat the shit out of each other. I'd rather go home and this movie was like getting dragged through concrete. And so Back to the Future, hell yeah. Best Star Wars film is the Lego Star Wars Holiday. Hot take, but I understand that. Literally saying anything other than this movie. Well, yeah, this was easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen, ever seen. And the funny thing is, from the very beginning to about an hour into it, I was like, this is really cringe, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be bad from point A all the way through the end. And I was like, you know what? I actually think Kamala Khan's kind of funny. She's kind of cute. She's not like insufferable. She ain't a bitch like everybody else, apparently. Even Nick Fury's a bitch. They made Nick Fury a pussy. Now I don't know what's worse, this or Sharkenstein. I haven't seen that. I don't know what that is. Sharkenstein. I don't know what that is, but I might have to check it out, and I'll let you know. But this was pretty bad. So, yeah, from the opening hour, I was like, this is pretty cringe, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's got a lot of consistency issues, but it's not like it's anything that I can't handle. I watched Black Widow in the movie theaters. I walked out of Black Widow. So, yeah, I walked out of Black Widow because I couldn't handle it. I skipped The Eternals. I watched every other movie at home on Disney Plus, just because I didn't want to pay actual money to the movie theaters to watch this piece of shit. Her acting was pretty good, unlike whoever is playing Captain Marvel. Stiff acting, others have to put it. Well, her whole body was stiff. She looked like a plank of wood, as Mahler would put it. And yeah, the acting was pretty good. If you're talking about Kamala Khan, yeah, props to her. It doesn't make me care more about Kamala Khan, the character, but the actress playing her was likable. And so I give her props to that. And she called out Kevin Feige. The one thing I praise about her is that whenever somebody said that the MCU was the Earth 616 universe, she said, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. So I praise her for that because the MCU is not the 616. The comics are. The main comic book timeline is 616. And so she wasn't as annoying as in her show. Yeah, I didn't watch her show. I didn't bother. It's not for me. It's not for me. Hot take, but I don't think Force Awakens was bad. Just kind of mediocre. Read. We're talking about the Marvels. But to amplify your point, Force Awakens wasn't as bad as The Last Jedi or The Rise of Palpatine. It was definitely mediocre, though. It was just a rehash of A New Hope. And the damage that it caused in the long term, killing Han Solo, making Han Solo a bad dad and a quitter, that damage was long lasting. And so it was the best thing about The Force Awakens is that it led for potential for things like Rey being a good character or Finn. Finn was the most underused and underutilized character in that trilogy. And so The Force Awakens was a good setup thing that had no payoffs. And that's what made the sequel trilogy really shit. Is because everything that the sequel trilogy had to offer was muddled and went downhill. Like I said, all for another video or another live stream another day. Back on the Marvels, because we're talking about the Marvels, man. I got to get this off my chest. I nearly walked out of this movie. Nearly walked out of this movie a couple times. And like I said before, the first hour of it was like, it was cringe, it was shit, but I didn't hate it. Like it's one of those things that I could handle it. I watched Secret Invasion, for fuck's sake. I could handle a little bit of cringe. It wasn't until about an hour in, or maybe a little bit less, maybe 45 minutes in, when the three women go to this aqua planet, where that planet's like 90% water. And all the people on this planet are, the only way they can communicate is through singing. So it was an entire singing montage. It was a singing montage. Every single character communicated through singing. And I gave up. I gave up right then and there. The minute they started singing, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Let's see. Seems like the same problems that plague Marvel movies plague the Star Wars movie. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin Feige is the new Kathleen Kennedy, without a doubt. I think Marvel still has a chance to turn things around. That's the fun thing about Marvel, is that they have a continuity that's loose, and they can reboot the franchise and make it absolutely better than the MCU before, because now they have the X-Men. Now they have Fantastic Four. There's ways they can make it better. Here's the thing, though. It's still owned by Disney. The chances of it being fixed are slim to none. And that slimness might be beneficial for them in the long run. But that's the fun thing about Marvel. Star Wars can't be saved. Star Wars is deader than dead. It is way past the point of saving. They need to reboot Star Wars or put it in a vault and let it end. Star Wars cannot be saved. Wamen, I agree. Yeah, Wamen. They got some Disney in our Marvel. They got too much Disney in our Marvel. Wait, they made it into an effing musical? Yeah, they did. They made it into a musical. There was an entire chunk of the movie that was a musical, and I damn near gave up. I was like, I don't smoke or drink. I consider myself sort of straight edge. After watching that musical part, I wanted to become an alcoholic. I wanted to give up on my lifestyle and become an alcoholic after watching that. My brother leans up to me and he's smiling, and he knows. He's like, Isaac, this is what you wanted. You wanted to make money on YouTube. You wanted to live stream on YouTube. You wanted to make content on the Marvels. This is what you got to go through. It's like having, what can I say? It's like having nails on a chalkboard, but also anal rape in prison, probably. A part I didn't like is when Nick was telling Captain Marvel of what she was doing wrong and telling her what she could do. And she blows off and tells him he's getting negative energy from him. Yes. that part was cringe too. She's like, I'm uncomfortable right now. You need to stop being toxic to me. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that was pretty rough too. That was rough too. That's crossing the line. Don't bring those musicals into the Marvel movies. Too late. They did that with Star Trek too. They made the Klingons go through a dimension where they started singing and turning into a musical. Yeah, that was rough. Yeah. What made it worse? The part that I almost walked out of. I almost walked out of this movie, but my brother's like grabbing me. He's like, "Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone." And so singing Klingons, yeah, Star Trek is dead too. Um, my brother grabs me. He's like, "Don't leave me alone here. We're doing this together." The part that made me almost get up and walk out of this movie was when Monica Rambeau is telling Kamala Khan. So after Carol Danvers starts dancing around with her husband, singing in a musical thing, I just buried my hands in I buried my face in my palms and gave up on life. I lost a piece of myself there. And so all that pain is going to go into culture war. Absolutely. Absolutely. Disney implemented themselves with the musical part. Yeah, the thing is, though, is that the other movies that have musicals are still better than this. I would rather watch. What's a good movie with a musical? Oh, the original Little Mermaid. I ain't gonna talk about the new Little Mermaid. I don't give a fuck. Never watched it. Don't care. Not watching it. But the original Little Mermaid, I'd rather watch that 100 more times with all the musicals and everything to watch this piece of shit again. But the part that made me almost get up and quit was whenever Carol is dancing in a musical with her husband, who's probably gay, by the way. Not that there's anything wrong with gay people. It's just that it's a noticeable thing with woke Hollywood. It tends to happen a lot. But she's dancing with this guy in the middle of the ballroom. Monica leans over and is like, "Hey, Kamala, this reminds me of like this might be like a checkbox in your fan fiction." And they mentioned fan fiction in this movie. Yeah, I almost gave up there. I almost was like, I can't do this. I can't do this movie. I can't do it. My brother, thank God, was like, we're going to do this together and you're going to make a video on it. You're going to live stream it. You're going to do something about it. And so I decided to stick it through all the way. But for the next 10 minutes after that moment, I was like, excuse me. I was just like, this has to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It still didn't have to be that way. I mean, it started off pretty good. I mean, when I say pretty good, I mean not shit. I mean mid. I mean mid enough that I didn't hate it, but at least I could handle it. Once I started singing, I was done. I was like, I can't do it. Can't do it. And that's not. I'm not even done with the movie. I'm not even I'm not even done describing all the bad things about this piece of shit. Hollywood tries not to make every character gay, trans, challenge impossible. Yeah, yeah, you know the South Park meme. Put a woman in it, make her gay. that's literally true. Like it's not a satire anymore. It's true. They do it. They do it all the time, and they're proud of it. They act like people who call it out are transphobic and homophobic. They do it all the time. So, is it worse than Thor 4? It's a good question. It's a good question. And I thought about it. And so I didn't watch Thor 4 in theaters. I watched it at home. And even at home, I hated the fact that I even bothered. And so Thor 4, biggest problem with Thor 4, in my opinion, is that everything turns into a joke. It was more like a parody than it was an actual serious movie. And I think the opening hour that I said was just mid and cringe, but not the worst thing I'd ever seen, was probably better than Thor 4 overall. Wasn't until the musical part of the movie that this became worse than Thor 4. And I hope I never watch Thor 4 again. I hope I never do. I really did not like that movie. I understand why other people didn't like it. I can understand why some people did like it. At the same time, I'm like, why? Why'd you like it? Tell me something about why this movie's good. I hate it when people say things like, you know, oh, this movie's good. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. Wait till you see the next one. I'm just like, it's one thing to like something. It's one thing to say that I like something, that I enjoy this, even if it's bad, you know, I still like it. I'm still loyal to it. It's just, you know, it's one thing to say that versus that saying that it's objectively good, right? The Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movies, or the first one. I think there's only one Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movie. I liked that movie I'm not going to say it's the best movie. I'm not even going to say that's a good movie. I say that I liked some of it. At this point in time, I don't like it as much as I used to, but at least it didn't insult me. At least it tried to be something new and different while also bringing back that nostalgia of Planet of the Apes. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the greatest thing to walk the fucking earth just because I liked it. And a lot of people can't tell the difference. They see things like this and they're like, oh, well, must be bad because I didn't like it. No, it's just that you didn't like it. That's your opinion. Objectively speaking, based off the writing, the editing, the producing, and the overall production of the story means that, that could determine how well it was done. This movie was a Frankenstein's monster. The Marvels was an absolute abortion of a movie. And it's still like, I don't know if it's even worse than the Eternals. I'm not going to watch the Eternals unless I get 500K, and then we'll make a deal about it. But I would say, yeah, it's worse than Thor 4. Overall, still worse than Thor 4. Yeah. Okay, Hollywood, don't make characters trans. Hollywood's head blows up. Yeah. That's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for them. I hope they Hollywood needs to just decentralize and go off and make a bunch of little mini Hollywoods that are not following the same trends as Hollywood. Things like the Daily Wire could go out there and, I don't want there to just be one Daily Wire. I want there to be many. I want Hollywood to not, the part of me is like Hollywood can fix themselves if they stop the bullshit. If they just stop calling their fans racist, they stop deflecting the blame and throwing shade on people who give them money. Their entire economy is based off of our spare change. We don't have to give them shit. They have to earn our respect. And the more that they make crap and then tell us it's our fault for not liking it, that's where you start to lose interest. And so that's the truth about how I feel about Hollywood. All for more videos in the future, for sure. For sure. Not going to lie, a decent piece of Marvel we got this year was Loki Season 2 and how it ended, because it actually had an ending. I'll take you up on that. I got to episode 3 of Loki Season 2. And so far, not going to lie, not very impressed. I didn't like Loki Season 1. And I'm not super impressed, but I'll see through it to the end and I'll make a review on it and see if it's actually as good as you say. But still, I got to season 3, or not season, episode 3 of Loki Season 2, and I'm just like, but I'll get there. I heard decent things about Loki. The great thing about Loki, in spite of how much I didn't like season 1 and I'm currently not impressed with season 2, Loki had a lot of potential to be like a Doctor Who, right? Think about this. Loki gets pulled from a time period from 2012 when he's the villain, when he's the bad guy, when he's trying to take over New York, and he's worried about Thanos up his ass, and he's using the Infinity Stones, the Tesseract, to try and fight the Avengers. This is an egomaniac that wants to conquer things. He wants to control things. He wants to be a dictator. That's the Loki that most people fell in love with. And they even fell in love with more when Loki got redeemed in Infinity War. So having a show about Loki going into the TVA, a pocket dimension outside of space-time continuum, learning about the TVA and being like, oh, the amount of power I can obtain here, and then going to different timelines and fucking shit up. And now we see as the audience the TVA rooting or people rooting for the TVA to stop Loki from causing chaos throughout the multiverse. That would have been good. It could have been like a Doctor Who, could have been like a couple Star Trek things. There's so many ways that Loki could have had so much potential. And I think that's the best part about it, is the ideas that it presents. But they do things like female Loki that they call Sylvie, kicking him, or not, no, that was Sif, kicking him in the balls on loop while he cries and kisses himself. He kisses himself from another universe. Body positivity, time cop, also beat the shit out of Loki. He cried a lot. He said that He Who Remains was scary, and I was just like, this guy's a clown. He's not really intimidating. And that final episode, I fell asleep in. So, but I'm gonna wait and see if there's actually something good with season two. Hopefully, and I'm gonna monetize it either way. I'm gonna make a video on it either way, um, because I'm gonna make a video on Secret Invasion too, probably, because I didn't watch all this stuff for no reason. I would have given up. I would have given up a long time ago. If I pretty much gave up at Loki season one after Falcon Winter Soldier. Falcon Winter Soldier was like, oh God. Don't call them terrorists. That's just another word for thug. No, Disney. Say what you want to say. Say what you really mean. All right? Say what you really mean. They make remakes of stuff as well as saying it's better, but they're just ruining it. Yeah. Yeah, they make remakes of things and say that they're improving on the things that they're remaking, when all they're doing is bastardizing it. They're taking the things that we love, filling them with identity politics, tokenism, intersectional feminism. People like to scream woke all the time, and I think that that's a little bit folly. And the reason I say that is because the more you scream woke at something, the more people are like going to think that you don't know what you're talking about. And it's hard to explain why I say that, because saying that something woke is like saying that something's racist. Eventually the word's going to lose its meaning. Eventually the word's going to lose its meaning, and then you'll just call anything that has even a hint of wokeness in it to be woke overall. And I don't think that's fair to, not that Hollywood needs any fair. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, if it's good, it's not fair to judge it as such. You say, with me personally, when it comes to criticisms of movies and stuff, I'm just like, I don't think this is woke per se. What I will say that it's filled with intersectional feminism. It's filled with CRT, hates my guts. The reason that I said that it is woke or something is because they attack the fans. They included things like CRT. There's a weird umbrella term for it. It's hard to explain. But overall, just shouting woke at everything kind of desensitizes people to it, and it becomes less effective. You got to call out the actual CRT, the Marxism, the hatred for the fans, the intersectional feminism. All that shit is there. The Marvels movie, the new one I just saw just now, just got out of the theater for. I don't know how woke I would say it is. I would say it's filled with intersectional feminism, without a doubt. But the biggest sin of this movie is not that it's woke or that it has woke people on it. The biggest sin of this movie is that it's shit. It's just a bad movie. It's really bad. One of the worst. So I think that's just, how I would handle it, I think. Loki had Rick and Morty writing. Rick and Morty's still better. Rick and Morty's still better. Even though it's Rick and Morty has caused a lot of damage to the culture. Michael Waldron, fuck Michael Waldron, by the way. Michael Waldron is a piece of shit. He wrote Multiverse of Madness. He's the guy who was like, you know what, Wanda killing Mr. Fantastic was a good idea. Fuck that guy. Fuck Michael Waldron. Y'all make sure to subscribe. Thank you, Reed. Thank you, brother. The thing that's worse than politics in the movies is the shit writing. For the most part, yeah. I mean, some people think that Dune is woke. Like, Dune isn't woke to me. And they never strive for it to be woke. But the source material that it's based off of, written in the 1960s, had a lot of things like, in the future, there's no guns. There's a lot of, like, globalism and, like, climate stuff in Dune. If you look for it, it's there. But this is a book that was written in the 60s with a guy that had no intention of swaying people to a political party. He just wanted to make a book that was, worthy of reading. That's all he wanted to do. And the movie feels the same way. It doesn't try to beat you over the head with things like the Bene Gesserit being a all-female team. Dune seems that way. And I'm not saying that Hollywood deserves the benefit of the doubt, because they don't. In fact, the only reason I watch these movies is so that I could cover them for my channel. That's the only reason I do that. I don't watch it to support Hollywood. I think Hollywood should die. As much as I say that they should die, um, I still want them to split off, and I hope there's a little bit of entertainment out there, but not like, overall, uh, absolute nothing, right? So, did I just freeze up? Uh, let's see. It looks like the clock's running slow. Is the internet down? Hey, chat, can you see me? Can you still see and hear me? Chat, is it moving slow or what's going on? Is my internet low? Okay. All right, I was just making sure because the clock was running kind of slow there. Okay, because yeah, the clock was running slow and I was wondering if my internet was low. Okay, I was making sure. Just making sure. Character I'd love to see in the MCU is Doctor Doom, MF Doom. Yeah, they shouldn't have gone with Kang. Kang should have been a side character. Doctor Doom is your next Thanos. Doctor Doom is the guy. You bring in Doctor Doom. You have Fantastic Four set it up. Like you have Fantastic Four be in the 60s and they go to the negative zone and time warps them until they come back to the future. And Doctor Doom is trying to take over the universe. That's how you do phase 4 and 5. Bring in Doctor Doom. That'd be fucking great. Let's see. Aren't all the movies now just politics and shit writing, especially with the writer's strike? Yes, and I guess it depends on what your perspective is. You have to cherry pick things, right? You have to cherry pick things. I can guarantee you that the Disney, anything made by Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, whatever, all politics and shit writing, guaranteed. But you ever see like Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan, like some of those others, like there's stuff out there that's good, that's worth watching. Not saying that you should watch it. I'm just saying that if you like it, if it's entertaining, if it's entertainment that you want as an alternative, go for that. Go for some Taylor Sheridan's shit. Reacher, Terminal List. There's a lot of good stuff out there that's not woke that deserves praise. But at the same time, like if you're so done with Hollywood, I don't blame you. Just stop. Just stop watching. That's totally fine. It's totally fine. And with the writer's strike, fuck the writers. The writers are shit. They're bad at their jobs and they started complaining. The writer's strike was about, we holding their little picket signs. We want more money. We want more money for calling our fans racist. So fuck the writers. Fuck the writers. Especially the writer's strike in Hollywood. I hope they lose their jobs. I hope they all, including the actors. The actors fucked themselves. They really did. The actors fucked themselves. And so, the actors, they wanted what they wanted. They wanted to be safe from AI. They want to be safe from AI and they wanted more pay or whatever the fuck. As a result, the studios were like, oh, well, we're not producing so much crap. So we're actually saving money, guys. Let's make sure they strike again. And so as where they would have, come out next year with 100,000 different movies, now they'll come out with half of that because of the strike, because of the deal they reached with the strike. So now half those motherfuckers, all the people who are on the ground striking for the WIGAs and the SAGs, who I like to call the Film Actors Guild, simply off of the acronym itself, they're not going to have jobs anymore. They fucked themselves. All the people who were striking the hardest, saying, oh, give us our money. We want money from the studios. Those studios just canceled your project. You won't have a job. Go pick up a spatula. Dr. Doom would be amazing. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, don't worry about getting political, D. All these guys are my friends and are as if not more unhinged than I am. Well, that's good to hear. I like that. Yeah. Y'all are in good company then. Y'all are in good company. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. I like to be moderate though. I like to, I like to be considerate. I don't want to be a dickhead to everybody. I not for any reasons of like politics or whatever. I can handle a mature conversation with people, but I'd rather not be a dick about politics because it's politics. Be a fucking grown up. You know. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Wish real MF Doom could play him in the MCU. Sadly passed at the beginning of 20. Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. MF Doom playing Doctor Doom. Given tokenization, I'm not 100% sure, but if it's MF Doom, you could talk me into it. You could talk me into it for sure. The only time I've ever seen Doctor Doom was in Fantastic Four movies, and he was kind of terrible. Didn't really portray him properly. Yeah, there's better ways. There's better ways, especially in the older ones, like the ones from the mid 2000s. There's better ways they could have done it, and still, that's the best Doctor Doom we're ever going to see. Maybe except maybe the comics, maybe some cartoons, but I guarantee you, whenever they come out with the next Fantastic Four, it'll be all diverse, and Sue Storm will most likely be the main character because that's just how Disney Marvel is. That's just how they are. It's not how I want it. In fact, I would make a challenge. Hey, Disney and Kevin Feige, cast Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom accurately. That's your challenge for the day. That's your challenge for the day. Don't tokenize any of them. Don't give them all agendas. Do them accurately. Let's see how well that goes. See how well that goes for them. We don't want to get debanned on YouTube. Thank you, but I think I think I should be fine. We'll see. There's a lot of idiots out there for sure that want to see me banned, but I'm sure I'll be fine. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you though. Thank you. For real though, we can't be too based. I'm trying to work out Rumble. I got Rumble, but I haven't navigated it well enough. So if y'all want to see me on Rumble or somewhere else, just in case, because there is a truth behind that. There is a truth because the reason I like YouTube, not that I really like it, but that not that I really like YouTube or that I want to support YouTube because YouTube hates people like me, but YouTube is like the belly of the beast, right? It's the place to be for the content making. It's the place to be for live streaming and getting yourself out there. So I like to be in the belly of the beast for more traction. We got to have that kind of thing, opposing voices. And so that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Everybody should be allowed to have their piece, allowed to have their 1A, their freedom of speech. Even the idiots are allowed to speak just as much as we're allowed to roast them for speaking. So that's how I see it. If I get banned, that should tell you how good YouTube is. I'll just make another channel. I got separate channels ready to go. I'll go to Rumble. I'll go somewhere else. You ain't going to get rid of me that easily. Love that Bart Simpson's outfit, bro. Oh, thank you. I totally feel like Bart Simpson. Thank you. But the idiots are speaking free and winning. That's the problem. You're not wrong. They are speaking freely and they're winning. And I would like to point out that the more people stay silent, the more they let these things happen, the more they don't call out things. I mean, I know I was talking earlier about saying that you shouldn't call everything woke. That doesn't mean you shouldn't call anything woke. If something is woke, you call it woke. Absolutely. But don't call everything, single thing that's woke, or has a subtle hint of wokeness woke, right? What I mean by that is that if it's absolutely woke, like the Marvels was absolutely woke. Now, would I say that it's woker than other things? No. In fact, I wouldn't consider it super woke. I would consider it shit. I'd consider it shit. But simply calling something woke that's not woke diminishes the purpose of it, if that makes sense. But if something is woke, you don't call it woke, it will continue to move forward, right? Not calling this stuff out um, is a problem. That's why people are winning. And I hate to be the weird neo, like, oh crap, somebody's gonna say not neo-Nazi, not neo-Nazi. I want to say neo-conservative, but also neo-libertarian, something like that. I don't know how I would put it, but being the guy that from my perspective, I've seen a lot of conservatives out there, a lot of people on the right who dismiss things like Marvel, dismiss things like Star Wars, fiction, science fiction. They dismiss this stuff because they think it's infantile. They think that, like Matt Walsh, for example. I like Matt Walsh. Think he's a good guy. Think he fights for the right reasons. And his "What Is a Woman" documentary was great. But Matt Walsh is the kind of guy that saw the original Star Wars movies and was like, these are woke. These are trash. And it's that kind of mentality that led the right to leave the culture war, and the left took their place. The left came in and infiltrated it. So these like boomer con, far, like, I don't want to say far right, but boomer con Republicans who have allowed things like education to be infiltrated, Hollywood to infiltrate things. Like, they've allowed this stuff to happen because they didn't care about it enough. They didn't see it. They didn't watch it because they didn't care. And now there's people out there that are calling out. Ben Shapiro has some of the worst takes I've ever seen when it comes to entertainment. He liked Rings of Power, for fuck's sake. Rings of Power was woke as shit. And Ben Shapiro sat there and he was like, oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Ben Shapiro also has TDS, so there's a factor of that too. But I see a lot of conservatives out there that are like, oh, people are saying it's woke, but it's actually not bad. That's the problem. I think that's the problem. They're entitled to their opinion, but that's absolutely a problem, I think, is that they try to call it out, and as a result, they have shit takes on it. And you're right, Caboose. Idiots are speaking free and they're winning. Well, they're trying to censor us, trying to censor people like me, probably people like you, for disagreeing. Anybody that's even an inch right of Mao gets censored or called an alt-right Yahtzee. That's bullshit. That's how they play, though. That's how they play. You got to play dirty. Most of the people who vote for Sleepy Joe probably have an OnlyFans or have trouble picking the right restroom. Accurate. I might get an OnlyFans so I could show a bunch of simps my penis. Yeah. I want people to pay me to look at my penis. I wonder if anybody's going to pay for that. That kind of goes into the idea of mindless consumers. Yes. There are a lot of mindless consumers out there. We need to cement that degrees of woke is considered. Oh, wait. We need to cement what degrees of woke is considered idle woke. Okay. Yeah. To your point there, there are degrees to it. You might be joking for all I know, but you're actually not wrong. There are absolutely degrees to it. There are absolutely degrees to it because, there are hints of wokeness versus just opening up the salt shaker and pouring it all out. That's the difference, I think, when it comes to that. There are some things that are unintentionally woke that end up being, absolutely trash, for lack of a better term. I'm trying to think of a good example of something that's like somebody would consider it woke, but it's not really. What would be a good example? Damn it. Something. I'm trying to think of something. I'm still in the mind of Marvels right now. This is supposed to be a Marvels review, and I'm having too much fun with the chat. Okay. Gotta think of something. Gotta think of something that somebody would consider woke, but isn't. Um, well, hell, think about this. Did y'all watch Underworld, the one with Kate Beckinsale about the vampires and werewolves? Right? Underworld, I think, if it was made today, somebody would say, "Oh, well, how are you going to tell me this 100-pound vampire chick in leather is able to throw 300-pound werewolves around and other vampires around? How are you going to say that's woke? That's intersectional feminism?" Well, what I would argue is unless the movie made the deal to make her an insufferable feminist and told all the men that they were lazy, stupid, and or not inconsistent, but like lazy, stupid, and invaluable, then uh, you know I can see why that's woke. But if you go back and watch the Underworld movies, it doesn't feel that way. You don't feel like you hate this character because she's a woman, but rather than like her because she's a decently written character. Now, I'm just using that as an example, right? I'm not trying to go into full thought on that. I'm just using that as an example of like what would be considered woke and what wouldn't be considered woke. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. There's certainly levels to it. Ben Shapiro, the man. Ben Shapiro is a superstar. Ben Shapiro is a superstar. He is the man. But he wants to be a part of the culture war, and he doesn't want to do the research on things like Rings of Power. Rings of Power was one of the worst TV shows I've ever seen, maybe the worst, besides maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. But Ben Shapiro has some entertainment takes, and like that's the thing is like Ben Shapiro likes entertainment, and he wants to call out wokeness in entertainment, but he always goes after the easy target, which is Disney. And Disney's not the only one doing this shit. Warner Brothers is doing it. Paramount's doing it. They're all doing it. But at the same time, he doesn't see it in every single thing, right? He watched Rings of Power. If you go back and watch his Rings of Power reviews, he's like, I really like this show. I like the original Lord of the Rings movies, so I'm going to like this show. No, Rings of Power was a sin against humanity. It was an absolute, a fucking abomination. And so, I don't know. I don't remember seeing his reviews on House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon was actually pretty good, in spite of some of the woke things in that. I guess I could talk about House of the Dragon. Maybe I'll say that for another day. I don't know. But he didn't like John Wick. He thought John Wick was bad. And so I need to watch that full review to get a full context of what he actually thought. But to say that John Wick was a bad movie, it's a dumb take. John Wick 4, I think. And I like John Wick 4. Not because it's not woke, but because the movie was a nonstop action movie from start to finish. That's how you fucking do it, John Wick 4. But I got nothing against Ben Shapiro other than his shit takes on entertainment. The dude is based as hell, and I like that. And he's the man. He's a superstar. He leads Daily Wire. I like that. The fact that he stood up to Disney with the Snow White thing, I thought that was fucking funny. I give him props for that. If they make a proper Snow White that can compete with Disney's Snow Brown, that'd be great. That'd be great. The Simps want the feet or the grippers. The MCU ending when Iron Man snapped his fingers. Yeah, that's how long ago it ended. It ended way long ago. I love the Underworld franchise till maybe the last one, but it's still awesome. Yeah, it is. You need to get a Discord server, D. That shit would be rocking. So, funny story about Discord. I was on Discord maybe a year ago. It was a while back, right? So it was I was on there as anonymous. I wasn't on there as Isaac of the Dead or anything else like that. It's a Discord that we can VC in. Sure. That'd be great. I'll have to go back on Discord. I'll have to, because what I did, right? Funny story. On Discord, I was under an anonymous title. I'm not going to say what it is, but it wasn't Isaac of the Dead. It was an anonymous title I had. It was an old title. And I was part of a server with a bunch of people. The whole stream will just be screen. Maybe. I'll make you one whenever you get an account. Well, that's the thing, right? So let me finish my story. I was on there, under a different title, different name. And then the server that I joined was how do I put it? It wasn't an entertainment thing, but it wasn't so much uh, it wasn't one that I would have, in hindsight, joined, knowing the people on there. And people were talking about how in this server they were talking about how Multiverse of Madness was like the greatest shit to walk the earth. And I didn't watch Multiverse of Madness in the theaters. I had to watch it at home because I didn't want to bother paying to go see that piece of shit. And so they were talking about it, and one guy who ran the server asked me why I didn't want to go see it. I said, well, I ain't got money to drive up there to be insulted. I ain't gonna spend my money to watch a movie I'm not gonna like. I heard the rumors. I heard about Wanda killing all the Illuminati. I heard about that bullshit. I'm not gonna watch it in theaters. If I want to watch it, I'll watch it at home. I still regret that. I thought the movie was garbage. I thought Multiverse of Madness was garbage. It has one of the worst moments in the MCU when Mr. Fantastic gets turned into spaghetti. The only thing that makes it better than the Marvels is that it had Sam Raimi, for the most part, contributing a few things to the movie, even though they cut his balls off. Poor Sam Raimi had a rough deal with that movie, but that's the one thing that makes it slightly better than the Marvels. So, whenever I said that, and whenever I started calling this guy out, I was like, "Oh, does Wanda kill the Illuminati?" And he's like, "Oh no, you have to go see it, bro. You have to go see it." I'm like, "I don't want to go see it. Why do I have to see this movie to validate your argument? Why do I have to pay money to go see this movie to have an argument with you about why it's shit? It doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. I don't need to go see it." And so the next day, the guy and I had a little, text debate, and didn't work out. Did not work out. And ultimately, the next day, he didn't kick me until the next day when he posted something like it was a post about how Star Trek Strange New Worlds was post about how good Star Trek Strange New Worlds was. And all I said underneath it was Star Trek Strange New Low. Gone. Kicked me that day. Kicked me that day for making a joke. And so I hope whoever that is never sees my videos, because I know they're going to be like, "Oh, you remember this conversation?" I want to be like, "Nope, don't know what you're talking about, boy. Don't know what you're talking about." So I got banned on Discord. I got banned overall on Discord. So I'm going to have to make a new account, and hopefully they'll let me in after that little incident, because I was definitely being a toxic man on Discord. So y'all want me on Discord, then I'll make an effort to try to get back on there if I can. That'd be great. But we'll see. Only time will tell. I watched the movie and I thought it was similar to fanfic. So insane that it's enjoyable, but it doesn't line up at all with what Marvel actually should be. You talking about Multiverse of Madness? Or something else. They have so many fucking movies now, it's hard to tell. And they're all pretty much formulaic and the same. So when when Bolt's head exploded, Black Bolt's head. Oh yeah, when Black Bolt's head exploded, people in the theaters acted like they'd never seen intense or gruesome moments in movies before. Yeah, they're pussies. Your average MCU stan is a pussy. Built like straw. Straw and gasoline. It's like they have only liked comedy films and childish content. Music Sims are Clockwork Orange and Taxi Driver. Those are good. Clockwork Orange and Taxi Driver are good. And so, yeah, your average MCU Gen Z Zoomer is used to the safe, plushy, you know, goofy MCU humor. I would argue, I would argue that MCU humor is not a thing. There's no such thing as MCU humor, right? There's only Joss Whedon's writing. Joss Whedon writing the Avengers, writing both Avengers movies. If you want to talk about the MCU's conception, a lot of people like to jerk off Kevin Feige. Fuck Kevin Feige. He's an asshole. He's a fake nerd. Okay. I did that as I pushed up my glasses. Yeah. Um, Kevin Feige's an asshole. He's a Hollywood producer. He doesn't read comics. He doesn't study any of this shit. He doesn't care about Marvel. The only reason he really gave a shit about Marvel is because it made him all that money. That's the only reason he stayed with them, to be invested. He cared more about Star Wars than he did Marvel. He wanted to be a Star Wars guy. So you want to talk about the creation, the conception of the MCU. Jon Favreau, Joss Whedon, Edgar Wright, James Gunn, Robert Downey Jr. Those are the people you think of or should think of when it comes to what made the MCU special, what made it work. Accurate representation of Kevin Feige. Yeah. People think, if you have Kevin Feige in there, that's the glue to put them together. That's what made the MCU special. People didn't like Iron Man because it was part of the MCU. People liked Iron Man because he looked and acted like the character in the comics. Because the movie was an accurate representation of the comic books. And Joss Whedon's writing was clever. What made the MCU funny was Joss Whedon's clever writing. And every writer since Joss Whedon has turned every single character in the MCU into Tony Stark, where they now all have the same quippy dialogue, the same cringe, like everything has to be funny. Not everything has to be a joke. Some things could rest. Like, remember in Thor Ragnarok, whenever Asgard was being destroyed by Surtur, and Korg's like, we can rebuild, we can bring back and build back better. And then Asgard was just obliterated. And he's like, oh, no, never mind, mate. It's like, dude, you're saying that in front of people on Asgard who just watched their entire home be destroyed. Not everything has to be a fucking joke in the MCU. And there's a lot of shit like that in the Marvels too, by the way. A lot of shit like that in the Marvels, where everything's a fucking joke. There's a moment in there that I actually laughed harder at. It was a serious moment when they're on a Skrull colony, right? Where the Skrulls are. And I'll get to that in a second because I haven't even gotten to the point of breaking down this fucking movie. So the Skrull colony gets attacked by Dar-Benn, and this, like, one of the opening, not the opening, but like at some point in the movie, can't fucking remember, but Carol Danvers is getting on a ship with Monica and Kamala Khan. And Kamala Khan's looking out at all the Skrulls that are being killed by Dar-Benn's like falling rocks and whatnot. And she's like, we got to save them. We got to go out there and save those innocent lives. And Carol's like, fuck them. We got to go. Carol's just like, we gotta get out of here. Screw those people. Screw those people. And I was trying my hardest not to laugh at that moment. It felt like a joke. It felt like a joke. She was like, we have to save those that we can. You could literally fly around faster than the speed of light and save all those assholes. You sat there and you let them die, you genocidal maniac. God. By the way, check your subs when you're done streaming. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. My older brother loves Marvel and Disney. And whenever he plays films from Disney Plus, he knows I'm bored. While if I show him a movie I like, he's just shocked at what I looked at. It's crazy. Well, no insults to your brother. He's your brother. That's for you. Maybe you can turn him around. Who knows? Who knows? You said older brother? Okay. I ain't going to insult your brother, Don. I ain't going to insult your brother. Moana versus Patrick Bateman. Who would win? I got a better question for you. Karine Jean-Pierre versus Gavin Newsom, who would win? Because that's the one thing that came to mind whenever I read that. Patrick Bateman versus Moana. I didn't watch Moana. I didn't watch Moana, so I don't know. Is Moana a super Samoa? I don't know. Uh, I honestly I don't know. I assume Patrick Bateman because he's a serial killer. Um, but I don't actually know. I don't know how to answer that. Sorry. Sorry. Moana was actually not a terrible movie. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out. Um, but I don't know. I at least by Disney standards. Well, by old classic Disney standards, sure, sure. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. We'll see. There's so much stuff I still need to watch, right? All the shit stuff that I want to watch for my channel, and all the good stuff that I need to wash my brain out with. Like I still need to see things like what's a good one I haven't seen yet? 2001 Space Odyssey. I need to watch that. Still haven't watched that. So there's a lot of movies out there that I still haven't seen that I want to see. I still need like you're gonna be amazed by this. I still haven't seen the Universal Monsters movies. I watched the original 1931 Dracula movie this Halloween, but I still need to watch like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman. I need to watch those Universal Monster movies. I think they're fucking brilliant, and I need to watch them all. So, when is the next stream? I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Maybe this could be a thing, like every weekend or so. Maybe I could try out doing a schedule on it. We'll see, because my schedule can always be choppy. So I'll let y'all know when I do another stream. These deadcasts are fun to do, especially with the chat. In there, I like that. I like the chat, being able to talk to people while talking about this bullshit Hollywood shit. So I like that. That's why I did this. That's why I came to YouTube, or came back to YouTube rather, is because I like this. This is what I enjoy. You know, um, legit thought Moana was pronounced Mona. Yeah, I can see why. I can see why. A Space Odyssey is slow, in my opinion. You're welcome to have that opinion. You're welcome to have it. Absolutely. I'll have to see it for myself, and I'll say if I can make my own opinion on whether it's slow or even if it is effective, it's slow. I don't know. Haven't seen it. 2001 is a good one. So I've heard, and I intend to watch it. I'll get everyone together and make a Discord so you can announce when you stream. All right. Thank you. Mostly everyone from here is from my Discord. Okay. I appreciate that, dude. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Reed. Shout out to Reed, or Red Does Stuff. I know him as Reed. So thank you for reaching out to some of these guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. I'll let y'all know when I stream some more. And if I get my shit together, we could do, what's it called? Actual like those panels, right? Have y'all on. We can have discussions and whatnot. Like once I get my shit together, because I don't have my shit together yet, right? So I need to get there in order to, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Do you guys watch Dreamy Bowl? I don't know what that is. Dreamy Bowl, aka his alter ego, Batucom. Is this like an anime? If it's an anime, then I've been getting more into anime lately, as an alternative to Hollywood. Got to be careful with anime though, because anime is nuanced, and you never know what kind of anime you're gonna get, right? And the thing that I'm more concerned about with anime, and it might be a small gripe of all things, is some of the American voice actors, right? Because a lot of people say that anime and the original Japanese voice actors is what is preferred with the English subtitles, as where the American actors don't have the same emotions, and sometimes the translations could be mixed up. Me personally, I'm worried about whether or not the person I'm listening to over the English dub was trying to Me Too Vic Mignogna. That's the biggest thing is, some of those voice actors pulling a bunch of Amber Heard bullshit and trying to cancel Vic Mignogna. So that's one thing I'm more concerned about. Um, the Lost Souls trilogy, Disney has lost their way a long time ago, brother. Long time ago. Uh, they yeah, Disney is just woke fascist BS these days. Uh, for the most part, yeah, like it's fair to say that everything from Disney is woke. It's absolutely fair to say that because uh, they pretty much expressed nothing but woke, right? To say something like, I don't know, Reacher is woke for having a badass woman in it is, that's one thing. When you watch Baymax, a child's character from Big Hero 6, searching for tampons for a young kid in the story and running into trans characters, maybe that's fair to say it's woke. Maybe it's accurate, you know? Uh, so fascist BS. Yeah, I don't think Disney is fascist. I think their fans are fascist. I think Disney, like the last remaining Disney fans who are still watching this, the purple haired weirdos that are like trying to cancel people all the time for different opinions other than their own, the Sleepy Joe voters, as you put them, they're the fascists. They're the ones trying to silence everybody. You know, I don't like the fact that people can't speak their minds freely. I don't like arguing with family members and friends over politics anymore because everybody gets into a kicking and screaming fight over this bullshit, and it's not fair to anybody in the end. And the truth is that there are more people on the right side who are getting canceled, who are getting silenced, and it's because of them. It's because they need their safe spaces. You know, Baymax is played by the same guy who plays Clay in Morel Oro. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I only saw parts of Morel Oro a long time ago. That was a long time ago. New, fresh content without an agenda makes sci-fi better. Disney doesn't know how to do it. Yeah, like Dune. I was talking about Dune earlier. A lot of people consider Dune to be woke because of like the Bene Gesserit, being an all-female group of witches, or the fact that in Dune's fictional future, there are no guns. The reason they don't have guns is because they use body shields, because the body shields make the guns irrelevant. So they resort to knives, right? Um, Even if that's why they decided to adapt the movie or the book to the movie, um, the source material was not written to say, "Oh, guns are bad." It's just that was the fiction, the fantasy of the world, right? Of the world within the story, and so that's why I don't consider Dune to be woke, and it shouldn't be judged as such. But I totally understand that people don't want to be bothered with it because Hollywood doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. You know, I totally understand if you're not tolerant to these fucking people, these pedophiles, for all lack of a better term. Um, so because most of them do that, by the way, it's actually worse than you think. It's way worse than you think. Um, exactly, a political nerd shit would be amazing. That's kind of what I do, dog. That's kind of what I do. Um, it's kind of what I do. Yeah, the Culture War album, which stay tuned, my subscribers. That's kind of what I'm into. If you like what I talk about, I would normally not suggest you go visit other YouTubers if you can help it, but I can't help it because I've met these guys in Dallas. I met these guys in my own hometown, downtown Houston. I guess I get to dock myself a little bit, but I don't really care. Come find me, motherfuckers. So I ain't gonna tell you where I live, though. You ain't gonna know where I live. It's anonymous. Anonymous. This is it's a storage unit with a window. Yeah, you ain't gonna know where I live. But there are some YouTubers out there. If you like what I talk about, if you like what I do, consider going and subscribing to Nerdrotic. Nerdrotic, Gary from Nerdrotic, who I've met before. Gary's a good guy. He's the guy who helped inspire me to get back on YouTube and to talk about this stuff. Gary from Nerdrotic. Check out Nerdrotic. Geeks and Gamers. Geeks and Gamers is another one. I like Geeks and Gamers. They're good people. I don't care what anybody says about them. Geeks and Gamers are good people. Drunk 3PO is another good one. Drunk 3PO is good. Mahler helps. You want to talk about like a guy who has collegiately studied why films are good and why films are bad. Mahler's your guy. The Long Man. The Long Man's the guy. Mahler is fucking awesome. And Critical Drinker. I met Critical Drinker this year at Anime Matsuri. Critical Drinker was fucking. I love Critical Drinker. So check out Critical Drinker. Critical Drinker. As from Heel versus Babyface, he's good. I like Az. Az is he's the homie right there. RK Outpost. Ryan Kennel. Ryan Kennel's good people, even though he's way more toxic than I am. Way more toxic than I am. But Ryan's good people once you get him drunk enough. Actually, he's actually nicer when he's drunk. That's the funny thing. When he's sober, he's an asshole. But when you get to at the meetup, he was nice though. He's a good guy. I like Ryan. Ryan's my boy. Even though he's older than me. Who else? Who else am I thinking? Disparu. Disparu's a good guy. I never met Disparu or Shadiversary. Shadiversary is good. I never met those guys, but they're good people. Eric July. Eric July, young Rippa. He created the Rippaverse. Eric July is another guy that gave me the confidence to come back on here and to speak my mind and to speak it freely. Eric July is good people. Y'all go check out Eric July. I'm trying to think about who else because there's a lot of them out there that have inspired me to do this. If you like what I talk about, I'm sure I'll come up with some more. But I watch a show every Friday called Friday Night Tights. Friday Night Tights is the shit. So if you like what I talk about, consider going and watching Friday Night Tights. They're my people. Friday Night Tights are my people. So go check out Friday Night Tights and Nerd Wars. Another guy that's been coming up is Nerd Wars. He's a good editor. He makes a lot of like documentary stuff. So check out Nerd Wars and check out Friday Night Tights every Friday. That's my shit right there. So my goal is to get to a point where I'm relevant enough to be on Friday Night Tights. little spill the beans there, but I love them so much, and I want to be able to get involved with theirs. I want to be the next link in the chain of this ever growing resistance in the culture war. We are the fellowship. We are the fellowship of toxic fans that Hollywood is scared of. So the more people like us, the better. Sniper Wolf, no, not after what I heard about old Sniper Wolf. I heard Brie Larson had a butt double. Probably because her ass doesn't look too great in this movie. She looks skinny as fuck in this movie. Yeah, she looks really skinny in this movie. The only thing that was noticeable was her tits. Yeah, so the best like trait about her wasn't her personality. Her face is okay, but like her ass was good in the first movie, but it was like didn't make up for the personality issues. And on top of her being irresponsible as hell and being a plank of an actor, her tits were pretty nice. Her tits in that white tank top were pretty good. I'll tell you that. Having a butt double makes sense for her. Yeah. Imagine having money to visit and meet others. Me, a Californian. If you're in California, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Not because you did anything wrong. Because I know there's a lot of based Californians out there that don't want to be in California, but don't have any choice because they can't leave. I feel sorry for y'all, and I'm truly sympathetic towards y'all. And yeah, yeah, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. But thank you for watching, though, Octowave. Thank you. I appreciate you. So let's get back, if I can, remember where the Marvels was. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Is the internet still working good? Looks like it. Looks like the clock's running smoothly and the Wi-Fi is good. Still got a little bit of battery left. So, all right, y'all good. Y'all good. Thank you, Reed. Thank you. So, the Kree and the Skrull are still fighting. This is something that's been noticeable in Marvel canon for a long time. And there was never, in my opinion, any good guys or bad guys when it came to the Kree and the Skrulls, because they're both in the complexity of war. And it's good, but great. We're going back into the dumpster fire to look for something. I got to get this out of my system. I got to get this piece of shit out of my system. Just hear me out, all right? Hear me out. Just I got to get this piece of shit out of my system. So, in Secret Invasion, we were led to believe that the Skrulls had nowhere else in the universe to go. And they ended up coming back to another planet that had a whole Skrull colony in it that they could have gone to, that these motherfuckers could have gone to. They could have gone to anywhere in the entire universe. They came back to this place. And they decided to colonize Earth because they're assholes. The Skrulls are not good people, by the way. They tried to make them an immigration allegory, and it was terrible. Dar-Benn has some grills, by the way. Dar-Benn's a gender swapped character that has some grills in her mouth that I was hoping somebody would knock out of her mouth. Yeah. The acting was trash. This movie got cut up as hard as fucking the editing floor. And the writing on top of that was like it was written by AI. It's almost like it was written by AI. It was written by 3 women, by the way. 3 women. 3 women wrote this movie. 3 functioning human beings, which I hardly think they are. I hardly think these people are probably functioning human beings. And yet, 3 of them wrote this movie. 3 of them wrote this movie. So, the singing, I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to go to the next part. Dar-Benn attacks their ship, attacks Nick Fury's ship. Nick Fury is a bitch, by the way. He got his eye scratched out by a little putty tat. Remember in Winter Soldier when he was like, the last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. And then he lost his eye to a putty tat. We thought it was something serious. Lost his eye to a putty tat. And now he trusts the Flurkin, the cats. The name of the cats are the Flurkins. And now he trusts them. He's over there. He's petting all the pussy. He's petting all that pussy. Where's his wife? Where's his Skrull wife from Secret Invasion? I watch Secret Invasion almost for nothing now. I'm going to monetize it. I'm going to monetize that fucking shit. Because it was a waste of time, apparently. It was a big waste of time watching that to prepare for this. Another big waste of time. But funny thing about the Flurkin, this is where the movie doesn't just get shit. It gets morally corrupt. This movie is morally corrupt, like a lot of Marvel movies these days. They're morally corrupt. If y'all watched WandaVision, the end of WandaVision, when Wanda that has the power to control an entire town of people, she controlled them by their minds. She forced them to be mental slaves. Wanda forced the entire town of Westview to play her little mental game. They're pissing themselves. All the kids were being tortured. They're being mentally tortured for her enjoyment, for her fake family. And when she finally frees them, and they all wanted to kill themselves, when she finally frees them, Monica Rambeau comes up to her and is like, they'll never know what you sacrificed for them. Her fake kids, she created them out of chaos magic. She can create them again. Let's see, spoilers. The fact that they straight up died in the planet, at least a majority, was kind of funny coming from. You're talking about the Skrulls? Because that was the funny part of that movie. That was the part that I laughed at, or at least tried to not laugh at the hardest, because they were all being crushed. They were all being crushed by rocks. Dar-Ben just destroyed their atmosphere, and they're all running for their lives. Those poor Skrulls are all running for their lives. And Kamala Khan's just like, we got to save them. We got to save them. And Captain Marvel's like, fuck those guys. Carol's just like, we got to save the ones we can. Tell them that sorry. It's like, you could fly out there and pick all of them up and bring them onto a ship. You're telling me you just gave up? You're just like, we got to get out of here. Morally corrupt, like I said, morally corrupt. But it gets worse, right? So it gets worse. There's a moment in the movie. So Dar-Ben attacks the main Saber ship that Nick Fury is on. Nick Fury and the rest of Saber, Dar-Ben attacks that ship. But they don't have enough, what's it called? Escape pods. They don't have enough escape pods to save the hundreds of people that are on that ship. Turns out the Flurkin goose has all these little egg babies that creates many multiple Flurkin. There's just an overload of pussy in that movie. I got a good little joke for you there. Okay. Battery's getting low. How long is the battery going to last? Let's see. 19%. I'll try and see if I can't make this a little bit longer. I might take a little break to grab a cord or something if y'all want me to. But I got 19% of battery. I can keep going for just a little bit longer. So let me explain this to you. So, speed run. Okay. They're on the ship. Dar-Ben, battery saver's on. Okay. Dar-Ben is attacking the ship, and there's not enough, like, what's it called? Escape pods to get off the ship, right? There's not enough escape pods to get off the ship. So Nick Fury has the great idea of using the Flurkins. The Flurkins have an extra dimension, like a pocket dimension in their stomach that you can survive in, right? You can survive in their pocket dimension. So Nick Fury's idea was to get all these little baby kitten Flurkins to eat everybody on the ship, right? So that he could save their lives. It's much easier to upload a bunch of kittens onto an escape pod than it is hundreds of people. So they go through a sequence where Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, Brie Larson are all grabbing the Flurkins and forcing them to eat people to save their lives. Nobody on this ship consented to be eaten by a Flurkin. None of them consented to it. Everybody there was running for their lives like they were kids at a shot-up school. People were running for their lives saying, I don't want to be eaten by the Flurkin. I'd rather go down with the ship than be eaten by a Lovecraftian monster. I would rather die than be eaten by one of these things. And over the intercom of the ship, they're saying, please let the Flurkin eat you. Please don't resist the Flurkin. Let the Flurkin eat you. I'm like, bro, these people are not consenting to be being eaten. Even if it saves their lives, they're not consenting. And they treated it like it was a joke. It was horrifying to watch. I was just like, oh my God, these people are deranged. And I got to give my brother credit because my brother watched this movie with me and he suffered through it. My brother had this great joke. He called that whole sequence, what was it? Oh, okay. You got to bear with me because it was, let's see. Okay, going to be sending out invites to the Discord in a bit. Guys, the audience in theaters were laughing over the plain joke like that. Yeah. So my brother had a joke. He called. Okay, I remember now. That whole sequence where the Florkins were eating everybody to save their lives that nobody was consenting to. My brother geniusly pointed out and said, "This is unconsensual pussy eating." I was like, Caden, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Well done. Well done. Unconsensual pussy eating is what that entire scene was like. Unconsensual pussy eating. See, it was like Aliens, but reverse face huggers. Absolutely. It was that horrifying. People were running for their lives. Like it was Columbine. And so, yeah. Yeah. Unconsensual pussy eating is what was going on there. Yeah. Yeah. Unconsensual pussy eating. So, yeah. And it's like none of the logic in this movie makes any sense. Because what if the Flurkins throw up people? Which they did. They threw up people inside the spaceship. It didn't make any sense. At that point, I had lost interest in paying attention. And so, long story short, they defeat the enemy. They defeat Dar-Benn after a little bit of an action scene, which Dar-Benn showed bad faith and was willing to be like, okay, if Captain Marvel comes and brings back my son's planet, my planet's sun rather, the sun was being drained. So if you come back and power my planet's sun, then we'll forgive each other. And she ended up switching on her and tried to kill Kamala Khan. On a normal day, I would have said, kill Kamala Khan. I don't care. But at this point, I was like, don't you have switching powers? Do the power switching thing to replace yourself with Kamala Khan. So that way she doesn't die. And you get the Negaband back. But no, Dar-Benn ends up getting both Negabands in the process and then blowing herself up, causing a incursion or something, causing another multiverse spreading, because there's not been enough of those apparently. The multiverse opening up is about as often as Taylor Swift's legs, you know? And so, yeah, Monica ends up sacrificing herself in a scene that I didn't give a fuck about to stop the multiverse incursion. She ends up in another universe. And we get to that in a second while I can. This is going to be a movie I'm going to be breaking down for the next week, probably. You know, I think I might, if you guys want me to, I could come back Tuesday, maybe, and do another stream Tuesday so I can finish talking about, like, I am not even done talking about all this shit. Like, there's so much crap that this movie projects that I'm not done. Like, I'm going to monetize every single second of it if I can. And if y'all want me to stream again, I think the next time I can could be Tuesday, but okay, yeah, stream Tuesday. Okay, so I'll look into it. I'll see. I'll let y'all know. I'll give everybody an update. You know, because I'm not even done explaining all this shit. You know, but Monica Rambeau ends up in another universe, and we have Kelsey Grammer as Beast there. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't think that he was going to look like the centaur from Harry Potter, from Sorcerer's Stone. That's how bad he looked. And the centaur from Sorcerer's Stone looks way better, by the way. They made Beast CGI. They should have just put makeup on the fucking guy. You know, he looked like shit. He looked terrible. The last thing I thought was, oh, crap. They're going to bring in the Fox X-Men, and they're going to make them all shit. I was like, didn't Maria Rambeau die? Wasn't she crushed? You know, didn't Professor X get his neck snapped by Wanda? Oh, by the way, speaking of Wanda, remember when Monica, because again, switched up apparently. Monica said to Wanda, "They'll never know what you sacrificed for them," and then let her ass go. She went to another universe and killed her mom in another universe. What do you think Monica's going to think when she finds out that the woman that she let go killed her mother in a different universe? Think about that. You know, she didn't have to restore their son. When she did that, I thought the sun was going to absorb the planet itself. Oh, it should have. Just let the Kree die. Fuck the Kree. Let them die. They weren't good guys. Dar-Benn showed that. She had no reason to go and save their planet after Dar-Benn showed bad faith. Dar-Benn was lying the whole time. So she had no reason to go back and restore their son. Just let him fucking die, you know? But that was stupid. But this entire movie was just fucking god awful. And I'm not even like, I don't know how much I missed. I'm sure I'll remember some stuff over time. But if y'all want me to stream again, I'll keep y'all posted. I'll let y'all know because this was fun. I like interacting with my subscribers, my viewers. I love that shit. This is what I came back for. So I appreciate you, Caboose, Octawave, Reed, Lost Souls Trilogy, anybody else who showed up to watch. I appreciate y'all. I really do. It means a lot. I appreciate y'all. So I'm gonna Jared Clark, YouTube brother, YouTube. And so anybody who came to watch, I appreciate all y'all. And so I'm gonna end it here. It's pretty late, but y'all want me to stream again? I will absolutely stream again. I will make more shorts. I'll make more videos. You know it. I am here for my people. Tuesday is a likely chance, but I'm not sure. If you all want me to do like a weekly streaming thing, absolutely, I'm down for it. I just got to find the right time, right? Got to make it work because of my own schedule. And so, this was fun. Thank you all for watching. You can find me at Isaac of the Dead on this channel. You can find me at on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Threads. Not because I want to, but because it's funny. And I'll try and get my Discord back. For some of y'all. So thank y'all for watching. This has been fun. This has gotten my mind off the shittiness of watching this movie. So thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate y'all. It means a lot. I'm very humbled. So goodbye for now. Peace and love. Thank you, man. Thank you. So y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all in another one very soon.